Hello, this is National Chess Master Bill Richards, also known as R-Rats at various places on the internet. I'm here to give my second part of this video series that I've just started of my games when I was low-rated player, under 1600 specifically. Now I was still unrated at the time of this game. My first rating as a result of this tournament, which was rated first, was 1465. This was a 5-round event held down in San Diego, early August 1972, during the Fischer Spassky match. A bunch of my friends and I drove down for it, and it was quite an interesting experience for me. I certainly learned a lot here. So again, these are my earliest rated tournament games, and I believe you're going to find all of them to be valuable. Everything on my website, I've just got incredible insight into chess. I've got that free lessons program which is there, which explains what you need to do on your own to set up and teach yourself how to be a better chess player. You know, there's some interesting debate I've had recently. How good can we become? Well, we don't know. What's everyone's ceiling? We don't know. You'll determine that. Chess is not something you start today and become a master overnight. Just a personal example, myself, first rated game 1972, master rating about 9.5 years later. It took me a long time. A couple of friends of mine that are much stronger than I, international master Vince McCambridge, became a master in 1976. When I first met him 2 years ago, he was rated in the low 1400s. Another friend of mine, Perry Youngworth, became a FIDE master. He was 1400 in 1973. And he broke 2200 about 1976. So, and these were extremely talented players, and started out a little younger than I did and caught on much quicker than I did. Everyone's different. Like I say, I made it on my own. As much as I loved the game and had devoted myself to the game, it took me a long time. I don't know how long it's going to take you. All I have said in my free lessons program that I've given my timeline how long it took, and I've figured out everything that went right and everything that went wrong, and tried to put all the right together to get you pointed in the right direction. And this video series is part of that. Okay, now I have to give you some news here. This is the second installment. It's the last one that's going to be free to the public. I'm going to start instituting a one-time charge for this, and let me explain how this is going to work. Don't panic, okay? It's real simple. At chess.com, all these links will be here in the YouTube description, and I'll bring it up at the end too. At chess.com, free membership. You don't have to pay a cent to join. You can start playing if you're not already a member. I have a group there at chess.com. The link, that will be in the video description. That's free to join. You can come become part of the group and get some of the support systems that we have to help you analyze your games. I have a whole team of coaches that will analyze your games for free, okay? And if you want private lessons from some of them, they're more than ready, willing to help you, okay? So I've got a pretty good support system set up. Now, for the students that take private lessons or have stopped and donated to my program, recall I do accept donations, they're all in a group called the Rat Pack. This is my own private group. This group basically is a place where serious students can come together, meet each other, help each other out. At the same time, the membership in the Rat Pack gives you certain privileges for life, okay? In this case, all those members of the Rat Pack will be giving me, I already have most of them, their YouTube channels, and I'll be uploading my videos to YouTube on this series privately to them, okay? In other words, if I don't have your YouTube channel and you're not in the Rat Pack, you're not going to be able to watch the video. Right now, I'm charging $30 to join the Rat Pack, but today is October 27th, 2012, and until the end of October, I have a one-time special deal. Call me nuts, but I'm doing it for $10. You want in? It's $10, lifetime. You're going to get any series that I do only for my subscribers for life. And I'm going to put out 2-3 of these videos a week. I also have other series I'm going to start. My games when I'm under 1800, under 2000, under 2200. I'm not sure what order I'm going to do, exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but the videos are going to come. Now you compare this to what kind of value you can get for your money. Go take a private lesson from someone else. $20, $25, $30, $45 for an hour. What did you learn in that 1 hour? Okay? These videos are going to last 15 minutes each approximately. This one may go a little bit longer, but because I'm having to stop here. But what are you going to learn for that kind of money and for that amount of time? You decide. Go purchase a chess book, a good one, $20, $25, and all you get is what's in the book, and you have to stop and read it. You can't beat a deal like this. I'm probably nuts for offering at this price, but I'm here to share my knowledge with the world. I'm trying to build an audience, and I'll do what it takes to get that audience, okay? So, until October 31st, the price is $10. It's any chess.com member. If you're not a chess.com member and don't want to join, that's all right. You can donate to me directly into my PayPal account, and all that information will be in the video description. Okay, enough of me lamenting about a pitch to sell my program. Everything else I have is free. There will be continue to be videos made for free. Right now, if you want free, there's over 200 videos on there of chess. Go have a look. I recommend the Team 45 League videos. They're linked on my website. These will teach you a lot about openings and all the principles, blunders that people make, all kinds of things that you need to know to get better. If you don't want to pay, that's fine. I don't care. I will continue to provide a free service to you, and it's all there ready to be looked at. Okay, let's get on to this game. This game, as I said, was played in the San Diego Amateur, an under 1700 section in San Diego, California, the weekend of August 5th and 6th. This was played in round 3. I won my first 2 games. I beat an unrated player of about 1200 strength, and then I beat a low-class C player about 1420. So, needless to say, I was highly optimistic about my chances, and I thought I could beat this guy too. Unfortunately, I didn't. I'm going to lose this game, and I'm going to have a disaster, but I don't mind showing that. You're going to have disasters too. I'm sharing everything. I want to pour my heart and soul out and show everything that I remember and everything that I know to help you improve. That's my whole purpose of doing this, is to give back to the chess world for the pleasure it's given me. Yeah, I make a few bucks here and there, so what? Everyone's got to earn a living. I'm supplementing mine this way. Okay, let's get down to the basics. I know you want to see something about chess. So at the time I was playing d4, and I'll give a little confession here. I'll tell you my secrets, because that's what I'm doing. I have a book, or I had a book, I don't know whatever became of it. It's called The Complete Chess Player by Fred Reinfeldt. It's probably still in print somewhere. There's a section in the back about chess openings. And that's not very deep, but just about every opening was listed, and a few variations were given of each, and a commentary of what basically was happening. And that was my book knowledge. I knew about the Ruy-Lopez exchange variation, the Steinitz defense deferred, all kinds of things I don't need to bore you with. But I had a basic understanding of what chess openings were about. And now you can go find a whole book on an opening, or just even on a variation with thousands and thousands and thousands of examples. You don't have to learn all that. That's when you become an international master, when you're starting to prepare for a specific opponent. But I had the basic fundamentals down, and although 3G3 is not the move most commonly played today, it was the one I learned, and I was comfortable with it, and that's what I played. Okay, so now I go about my business. And here he threw a little wrinkle at me. This wasn't in my analysis. Now I'm on my own. Now today, what I would probably play is knight f3. Why? Because white's getting ready to castle. But I made what looks to be a perfectly logical move, and I played e4. It's something white's going to do against the King's Indian anyway. Why not do it now? But had I played 5 knight f3 and castled, I probably would have had a much better game than I ended up getting. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so d5. If I take twice on d5, I'm going to end up with an isolated queen pawn. I don't recall seeing that, considering that, but I played what seemed to be a natural move, e5. It just attacks his knight. And if he plays his knight to d7, it looks like at first glance I'm going to win the pawn on d5, but that's not important. Let's stick to what happened in the game. He played knight g4. And at this point, this is where I started to go downhill quick. I really wasn't thinking. Well, I was thinking, but I wasn't thinking with the ability that I was years away from acquiring. And what I'm trying to do is explain why I was thinking these moves, what was on my mind, and go from there. As I explained in my first video, I was very materialistic in my early days. I see that he has a threat of taking the pawn on c4. Now, I know already how to handle that against, if black tries to do that again, the queen's gambit accepted. I know how to handle that type of position, and I'll go into that in another game in this series in the near future, but I'm kind of materialistic and I don't want to look at it. But what I would consider today is simply to bring the knight to f3, and after I bring the knight to f3, I'm ready to castle. And so what if black takes the pawn? I'll just castle and have a happy position here. If black stops and plays b5, I've got a nice lead in development. I'm not in the least bit worried about white's position now, today. Now, thinking about it back in 1972 when I played this, I say, oh my God, I'm a pawn down. I can't allow this. But that's what I knew back then. And, we don't acquire all of our knowledge just overnight. But what I played instead was I took on d5. And that eliminates the possibility of me losing a pawn. It just totally eliminates it. But unfortunately, it does something that helps the black game. It opens up the c6 square for his knight, and that's going to play critical. I didn't even consider that possibility at that time. So you want to make these considerations too when you make a capture like this. Does it open up a square for his pieces? Does it help his development? Okay, now nobody taught me to think that way. This wasn't in the books, or if it was, I hadn't found that book yet. Okay, so let's see what happened. He took back. Now, once again today, probably what I would do is simply play knight f3 and get ready to castle quick. Get the development complete. But I saw something, or I thought I saw something, and I played what looks to be a perfectly natural move, knight c3. After all, it does develop a piece, but it doesn't help my king. My king's going to get in trouble that I cause in just a couple moves here, you'll see. Okay, so he plays bishop e6. And I looked at this, and I was capable of analyzing it to some degree, because I'll show you what I figured out. And unfortunately, there's a huge flaw in it, and I'll explain it in just a moment. Okay, what might you do if you're white here? The normal move, like I say, is just develop. Knight f3. This is what I always stress. Play knight f3, get castled, and continue on. But I saw a potential combination here that I thought won me a pawn. And I'll go ahead and show it to you what I did, and I'll show you the fly in the ointment. This is what I looked at. I came up with bishop takes pawn. It doesn't look like a move white can really play, but here's the tactics behind it. If black plays bishop takes, and I recapture, he takes back, and then I take on g4. Now look at this. I'm offering him a whole rook. But he can't take it, okay? He can't take it because if he takes it, white has an immediate win. Checkmate, okay? That's what I calculated. So I was able to see this far, but there's a huge fly in the ointment, so to speak. There's a big problem here that I didn't take into account, okay? And here's the move that I missed. All black has to do is he's going to look at this and say, gee, a free rook. What is white going to do? Oh my God, he's checkmating me. Well, I better find something else. And sometimes we play optimistically. We just hoping our opponent will fall into what we want him to, and we don't think logically. But a simple refutation to the whole white position is now knight c6, and I'm in trouble. Okay, now the mate threat is guarded, and plus he's renewed the threat of queen takes on h1, and he's also piling up on my pawn on d4. Since I don't have a mate, I need to cover my rook. How am I going to do it? Well, I've got three candidate moves: knight f3, queen f3, and f3. That's it. I don't see anything else. And in any case, my pawn on d4 is going to hang, and I'm in trouble, okay? I'm just losing a clear pawn, and after the pawn on d4 falls, the pawn on e5 is weak. And look at me, I'm not developed. I've got one piece developed, my queen. And we all know just premature attacks with the queen are no good. And I didn't realize that at the time, that I was going into a position where the only piece I had developed would be my queen, and that he could deal with my little trick. So I missed it entirely. But the gods of chess were, so to speak, were with me that day. My opponent didn't see the full continuation. Maybe he looked at it and saw as much as I did and took my word for it. Maybe because I looked confident. I don't know. It could be that his rating is only 1596. Now maybe that's high for you, but it's not 2200. It's not like this guy's a really outstanding player. What it's proving is that players 1500 can be defeated. They can also play reasonable chess, but they can be defeated because they make mistakes. So here I was thinking I'm going to win a pawn, and I'm all excited, and I'm really feeling good, feeling my Cheerios, so to speak, and all of a sudden I get surprised with knight takes f2. This was not a move I considered. Now, I have better moves available here, and I'm not going to analyze them out. That's a good illustration, or a good exercise for you, rather. But needless to say, I was kind of crestfallen, and I just took his knight. Okay. Now he's able to safely take on d5, and I need to take, and he takes again. And now my queen g4 is just going to walk into trouble because he'll play knight c6. I don't recall if I saw that. I guess maybe I said if queen g4, at least he can castle and whatever. But I didn't play it. I developed a piece, something I should have done earlier. Now, I've already explained earlier that white could have been castled here, and my impulsive play has caused my king to get displaced. I didn't have to allow this. I didn't see it coming. I saw a trick. I tried it. We want to win. We want to win quick, but you don't win games quick. Sometimes you do. You can play risky chess like this and win games quick, but the better your opponent, the more likely it's going to backfire on you. You want to remember that. Okay, so he just continues his development. Now he's accessing a square that I gave him control of. Remember, he did have a pawn there, and I helped that pawn trade itself right out. Okay, so knight c6, and now he plays, or I play bishop e3. Now in turn he castles. Now let's stop and take stock of this position for just a moment. Let's compare things. Both sides have developed two minor pieces. Black has developed his queen, white hasn't. White's king is exposed. Let's see, a couple other things. Something called pawn islands. Over here I'm pointing to them. I have 3 pawn islands, and this is what they call it. See how they're just like a little island there. If you consider the chessboard a map, those pawns are little islands. I have 3 of them. Black has only 2. He has one on the queen side and an island of 4 pawns on the king side. Now, one thing that they teach us, and I'll teach you if you didn't know it, is the fewer pawn islands you have, the better your position is. If you have 2 pawn islands and your opponent has 3, the pawn structure favors you. And there's a lot of reasons for it. One of them is self-evident right now. My pawn on d4, it's a backward pawn on the open file, and I can't defend it with another pawn. As a matter of fact, look at my pieces. My 2 developed minor pieces are defending my pawn. Okay? My queen is defending my pawn. He can't win it, but I can't go attack anything else because I'm defending this position. His queen is centralized. It's not clear how I'm going to drive it out of there. It's simple. Black has the better position. So I need to do something. What are my choices here? One is to play rook f1 and king g1. That in effect is castle by hand. That gets my king out of a little bit of a danger, but really it doesn't change much else. Black will continue to do his development while I'm doing that. He'll park his rooks on c8 and d8. So I think what the move I played is quite reasonable, but as a result of it, it ends up getting me in immediate trouble. And it's hard to believe that White's going to have a disaster here in just a moment, okay? But anyway, that's what's going to happen. But queen b3. Now, one thing I did know, it was okay to take double pawns if you got open lines for your for your rook. So I don't mind getting a double pawn in this position if he takes my queen. Now, granted, he's still going to be better, but it takes some of the pressure off. At least I knew that much. Also, one of my lines of thinking back in these days was make exchanges, especially when you're a pawn ahead. Just trade everything and win the king and pawn ending. Well, life isn't that easy. Your opponent's not going to go into a lost king and pawn ending. He's going to avoid exchanges. And a lot of times in my early months of chess, at the competitive level now, I was wanting to trade queens, partly because I was scared of what my opponent could do. And that's not uncommon. It's something that a lot of players at this rating level and below or even above want to do. They're just terrified of what the queen can do to them, so they want to trade it off. They're hoping they'll just take it. Well, black doesn't have to trade queens, okay? And I don't need to either. If you have a good position, yeah, keep your queens on the board. You can do a lot of damage with it. But like I say, my line of thinking back then was make exchanges. And here he makes a perfectly logical move, and this is where I just completely throw the game away, and I'll show you. What I need to do is just trade queens. And let me show you. Okay, just queen takes. Now I've gotten rid of that powerful queen, but black is still better, okay? My pawn island weakness is still there. He's still ahead in development. My rooks aren't developed. The only possible advantage I've gained from this is my king is a step closer to the center. My king isn't as much danger in the position with the queens off the board. I do have a half-open c-file to work with, but really with neither of my rooks developed, I'm not doing anything, and I'm tied down at some point to guarding that pawn on d4. Once again, black has the better game here. I would last a long time. I'd probably lose this, but you can't get everything you want, okay? But that's what I needed to play. But instead, and I remember exactly to this day what my mindset was. As I mentioned earlier, I was a little heartbroken when I thought I was winning a pawn and didn't win it, okay? What I wanted to do was just become a pawn ahead. So I played a move without even considering the consequences. I didn't even analyze it at all. I just grabbed that pawn on b7. Now, it was the very next day that Fischer lost game 11 to Spassky, that famous game where Fischer played the poison pawn variation of the Sicilian defense, where black snatches the queen knight pawn in the opening, and Spassky basically refuted Fischer's analysis. So a little foreshadowing could have been avoided if that game had been played earlier and I was aware of it, but maybe in turn maybe if Fischer had seen me play, which he wouldn't, of course, but maybe he would have said, don't grab that queen knight pawn. I don't know. Fischer played the poison pawn, so he would have done it anyway. But like I say, my point was I didn't even analyze. I just said I was a pawn down or a pawn ahead, and then I can take another one. I'll be a pawn ahead again. Again, my mentality is grab pawns. Grab pawns, trade pieces, win the ending. I knew that much, but you can see that it just leads to a disaster. Okay, I didn't even analyze it, and it's just quick. It's just a quick death. Okay, rook a b8. Now I could have analyzed that. Why didn't I? Well, because like I just explained why. I wanted to be a pawn ahead. I didn't have the basic training that one really needs. I'm still learning. Okay, I've got some decent ability, but I'm still learning things, just like you're still learning things. I'm still learning things today. Even grandmasters are still learning things today. We don't know it all. None of us do. Okay, so I guess the rest is pretty easy to see what happens. Rook takes b2 check. Okay, and white has some serious problems. If the king goes back to the back rank, black just gobbles up the knight on f3, right? And white's down a piece, and probably going to get checkmated in a hurry. Okay, so I played the move that saved the piece, but knight takes d4 comes in, and I'm just in serious trouble here. Major problems. He's threatening queen f3 check, and honestly, I can't remember if I saw that, but I knew I was lost. I knew the game was over, and And the only thing I could think of to do was, what, grab a pawn. That was what I was doing already. Grab a pawn and just hope like heck that he doesn't find the right moves. Okay, so actually all I've done is restored material equality. I was down a pawn because he's been taking them. I have 4 pawns, he has 4 pawns. I still have 3 pawn islands. He's down to 1. Anyway, it's just now mate and 2 no matter what I do. Queen check, and my king has 2 legal moves. If he goes to e1, it's queen e2 mate, and I chose king g1, and then knight e2 was mate. Now this is a disaster, as I said, but I said that in the beginning, and I explained exactly what I did wrong and why I did it. Yet, if you look at my game, I was capable of playing a reasonable game. I got my pieces out to some degree. I didn't develop them perfectly. I explained my mistakes, and grabbing the queen knight pawn was fatal, and especially when you make a move without even analyzing. Would you like to walk alongside a cliff with your eyes closed? No. Well, that's what I did. I learned, okay? Would you stick your finger in a light socket? I don't think so. Well, that's what I did. I stuck my finger in a light socket, and I got bit. And I actually, as you'll see as I continue this series, I got bit a few more times grabbing pawns. But that was the way I was playing back then. I didn't know. I didn't have a coach. I just learned what I learned playing games and analyzing them after, and what I could read in the chess books I had. All right. Let me just give a few more details here. In the description here on YouTube, there's a link to joinchess.com if you're not already a member. If you want to join for the $10 to the Rat Pack, there's a link to my coach's page. You just click that and find a $10 donation and click that and pay by credit card. Okay. If you wait until after October 31st, it's $30. Okay. So this offer is only good till then. If you don't want to join chess.com, that's fine. There's a link here to my website, to the donations page, and you can go. Let me get it right here. Okay. There's no point putting on the video. Then you'll find a chip in. Just select the one that says private lessons, and any $10 donation I get between now and October 31st, I'm going to know that was for this, and I'm going to put you in the Rat Pack, or at least I'll contact you back and say I need your YouTube channel, because that's the only way you're going to get in. Now, if you don't have a YouTube channel, it's easy. You make a Gmail account, okay? And from there you can make a YouTube channel. So a little bit of work on your part, but it's not hard. And then once I have your YouTube channel, when I upload the next video in this series, it'll be uploaded, and if you subscribe to my channel, it'll go right to your channel. You'll know about it. There'll be other ways this will be available too. It'll be posted at chess.com, and even though probably in public, even though people won't be able to click it, I'll post it there. I may post it in the Rat Pack. I haven't made up my mind. But one way or the other, if you join me to get the rest of the series and all other videos that I do, and it's a life membership, then you're going to have that out of the way and just enjoy them all for as long as you live, okay? All right. Thanks so much for your time, and I look forward to making video 3 for this real soon. And join up so you can catch them, okay? Take care. Bye.